I wasn't too keyed up on the idea of going, to be honest with you. But I wasn't going to go to Canada or anything, or claim the conscientious objector, you know. But Israel, there's a whole different attitude. It wasn't, the volunteer wasn't working, and it was costing them a fortune to send some of these people over that were married, and that they sent you over. They had to take care of your wife and kids and stuff. They finally come out with what the hell was it? 3A, extreme hardship, and you didn't have to go except in time of an all-out war. But you're right about one thing. There's less and less people volunteering to go in the service. So I don't know what's, but there's less people needed. At least that's what they say. Top brass says you don't need armies like yesterday's armies today, because you're not supposed to have to invade a country. You need specialized forces, what they call them. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. If we ever do get into it, I hope our military's better than Russia's. I thought Russia was had top-notch military. They got their asses kicked in the Ukraine. The people in Ukraine, once they got a hold of some decent weapons, they all thought Putin was going to take the whole country inside of a couple of weeks. And he got them guts.
Well, like I said before, I think the thing of a mandatory year or two would be a good thing. That way, number one, it would teach all these young folks discipline, and it would also teach them a whole lot about self-respect as well. And ain't neither one of them things would hurt our younger folks, because most of them think they're owed something. And you know, I was always taught that if you were owed something, you had to give something up first before you ever was owed anything. And that's just my feeling. But the bigger part of that is if there's not war, you know, if they serve a couple of years and they want out, then that's all well and fine. They're just reservists, and they can be called up till a certain time if there is an actual war. Otherwise, they've done their time, and that's that. But I think it would teach, you know, everybody basic weapons handling skills. It would teach them respect and discipline, and actually they might even respect themselves once they're through such a thing. But I don't know, it's just my opinion. I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole either. I'll just be quiet about the rest of that. But that's just the way I see it. You know, everybody has their own opinions, and that's just mine. W800, I'll be quiet now for a bit.
Yeah, I could go either way on mandatory. In some aspect it's good, and in some aspect it isn't. But the way kids are today, we got nobody to blame but ourselves. I hate to admit it. We were talking about it on the other net. The way the kids are, they hiss and moan about this and that. When we was kids, if you was lucky enough to get to college, you couldn't get college loans back then. You either had to work your way through, or your parents had bucks. But if you was lucky enough to get to college anyway, by the time you was 19, if you weren't out on your own, people would talk about you. What's wrong with Tommy's kid over there? Christ, he's 20 years old and he's still living down the cellar with his parents. Why isn't he married? Why doesn't he have a job? Why isn't he working? Really, people would, when you walk down the street, they'd whisper and point at you. That's the way things were when I was a kid. But nowadays, it's nothing. Well, I'm only 35. I'm still living home with Mommy and Daddy. And you ask your kid, well, why haven't you found a job? Well, I can't find anything that suits me. Well, gee, son, what kind of job are you looking for? Well, it's got to be 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, at least 150 grand to start, full boat on insurance, and at least 5-6 weeks vacation to start out. And you got to shake your head. You say, son, I worked 52 freaking years, and I never found a job like that. Good luck. And it scares you because you think this clown's going to be living in my cellar for God knows how long. But you know who you got to blame? Who I got to blame is myself. Every parent wants their kids to have it easier than they had it. And in the process of making it easy on them, they miss an important step in life. An important learning process they miss. I did it with I had 2 kids by my first marriage and 2 by my second. And I did the same thing. You try and make it easier for the kids than you had it. You're trying to help them, but in the process, in actuality, I think, it's my opinion now, that you're hurting them because they miss out on stuff. I mean, I learned the hard way. I moved out of the house when I was 16 years old. I never got along with my parents. I was 16, I was a senior in high school, I had my own apartment, and I paid for it. I didn't get no money from my parents. Not one red cent. I lived all on my own. I worked weekends. I didn't say, well, until the right job comes along, I'm going to sit home and live in the cellar. I didn't do that. I went out, my girlfriend got pregnant, I got married. I worked. I took whatever kind of job I could get. I did all kinds of stuff. You name it, and I did it, from short order cook to dishwasher to septic tank cleaner to newspaper guy to you name it. And on weekends I worked in the factories part-time. This is at 16 years old. Christ, I lied about my age at 13 to get working papers. But I learned, and it helped me tremendously in later life. These kids nowadays don't. If they can't get the job they want, well, they'll just live home with their parents forever. You send them to college, they come back, you figure, well, they're graduated from college, they'll find a job and get out. And they're still down there. And then their girlfriend gets knocked up, and you figure, well, for sure they'll go now. They got a wife and or soon-to-be wife and a kid coming. They'll have to get a job for themselves. Nope, wrong. You didn't lose a son. You gained a daughter-in-law and a grandkid. They're still down your cellar. It's like a piece of gum you step on and you can't get it off the bottom of your shoe. You feel like one of these birds. I watch the birds in the nest next to the house. And most of the birds fly away after a while. You always get one or two that the mother's got to pick them up by the neck and heave them out of the nest. Otherwise, they'll be there forever. But like I said, it's our fault. Most parents, they spoil their kids. They don't want to see the kids go through the crap that they went through. But going through the crap is what builds character, and they're missing an important part of life. And I went on way too long. I'm going to be quiet and let somebody else get in here. So we're going to go out and get a drink, and we'll be listening. KD2EMQ.
Who else come in there? W800.
Nobody.
Nobody. Hello, nobody.
How you been, man?
I'm alive and kicking.
I hear you. Me too. I'm done for the weekend, finally.
Yeah, I ain't done for the weekend by any means, but I've got more of it out of the way now than I had earlier today.
Well, let me say I'm done with the factory. I got plenty of stuff to do here.
Roger. You got Tommy all wound up about the war.
Oh, I
Dave.
care about the war. Love to kill each other. Biden thinks we got a bottomless bit of money to hand out.
Do what now?
That Biden thinks we got a bottomless bit of money to hand out. Well, he's got to understand that Congress is wanting to declare war, not Mr. Biden.
I just ain't gonna go there. I've been all wound up about it earlier this evening, and I'm just past it right now. I just don't need to be getting into it this late at night.
Oh, I don't care. Like I said, he's the one that declares war. He's going to have to settle foul with Congress. A couple billion here, a couple billion there. It don't matter.
Well, it's not a couple billion, it's a couple $100 billion.
Anyhow, for that, I don't know, what do you see it is, I don't know, the brown stuff will shine a whole lot other than that.
I'm sitting here checking out all the history of firepower. Here, I'm watching the show that's streaming that shows all their armor and such, and they got some pretty cool shit over there.
You know, we're a stamping plant, there's all sorts of plants shut down. Well, we ship a bunch of that stuff to that truck plant. That truck plant's closed, so they guess they don't need no panels from us, eh?
Perfect double.
That's not. I was sitting here watching that thing on the Israeli armored stuff and a lot of their military vehicles and such, and they got some pretty cool toys over there. But anyways, enough of that. I need to get out of that mode.
You know what your problem is, Steve? That TV crap that you get.
It don't matter.
You got way too much of it.
Way too much what?
All that TV news stuff. What do you got? Every news channel there is to have?
I've got every channel in the world I can watch if I want to. Any language, any country.
There you have it. That's too much. You can't avoid it. The more you have, the harder it is to avoid.
Oh, I know where the off switch is. I just wanted to see what kind of armor they were using. I don't know how to say this without getting into this too deep, but let's just say I know quite a lot about military movement and fighting and tactics and such. And some of this intrigues me to see what other countries do. I mean, there's a standardized playbook across the board for NATO, but each country has their own little tweakies to it too, and I just like to see what some of the other countries' tweaks are that they have implemented and how well they work or don't work compared to ours. And it's quite interesting to me.
Like a game of chess. Or chess. Chess. Yeah, it's like a chess. No, it's like chess. You study different books and you got your standard moves and yard, and it's interesting to watch what people are going to do, whether they're going to use this attack mode or that attack mode. Israel's using, we showed them, we had that one general showed the Israelis what to do. They call it a rolling start, and that's what they're doing now. Little by little, they're coming in, their main force is back. But that's interesting, how that works, and it worked for us in Iraq.
Oh well, Steve, come on here. QBC.
Alright, Jonathan, you have a wonderful night tonight, bud. I'm probably going to get quiet here just shortly. I'm kind of wound down this evening. All my parents all over creation, did a bunch of stuff at the firehouse. I've been all over the place today, and I've got a crap ton of stuff to do tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna call it a fairly early night tonight.
Okie dokie. But I gotta tell you something that was funny. I talked to my neighbor yesterday on 38 lower side band. Europe, UK, while we were talking local here, and I was talking to a barefoot CB radio, and I talked across the pond. That's pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. It happens, and the band's been up good too. So it's something you can do a little easier right at the moment. Probably until about 27, we're going to have good band conditions on the upswing, and then they're going to start going back down. But we've got several years of good conditions here and going to be here for a while yet before they start going away.
Yeah, it's pretty good though. 12 watts talk across the pond.
Yep, that's pretty awesome.
People are actually still talking on CB.
I got it with 12 watts. Yep, just barefoot Cobra radio on a set of beams.
We used to live on CD. I collect them. I got a whole room full of 10, and well, most of them are 25 watts. Dual final job he does. But still, 25 watts isn't much. I didn't think anybody, I'm going to have to go down and listen. I can't do it on this. I hate to hook up one of these old reeds. Oh, the 3000. It's set up for Mars, it'll get 11 meters. Well, I can listen on any of them, so I can go down and listen on this and see if there's anybody on locally. I never thought of doing that. Yeah, I probably will. I even got an 11-meter antenna that's still up. I had a big 4-element beam sits up on a 60-foot tower. I usually tune it for 10 meters, but it was actually designed for 11.
You still make cow or fiber or do we use that?
Who, me? No, I just had a Subaru. Well, I have tons of cars. I drove a lot. Every 2 years I bought a new car. But the only fast ones I had was the first new car I ever bought, 1969 Roadrunner. Had a 426 Street Hemi in it. And that's the same year I got hired out on the railroad. And it was a little tricky to drive, being as if you really baby